Today, General Custer is remembered for his defeat at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Unknown to most folks is that he was a celebrity in his own time. How did he become so famous? Find out next on Discovering Fort Lincoln. And thanks for joining us again on Discovering Fort Lincoln. Now, it's a gorgeous February day here in North Dakota, and we decided to take advantage of that by shooting outside of our visitor center here at Fort Abraham Lincoln State Park. Now, it is a very gorgeous day here today, isn't it?
It is much nicer than it's been since probably October. The snow's melting, the birds are chirping, and it's shaping up to be a beautiful spring.
Excellent. Now, we want to talk a little bit about General Custer and his life during the war between the states. So what information are we going to look at?
Well, one of the most important things to look at with General Custer during the Civil War is how big a part he actually played in it. Most people kind of ignore that because of his later roles during the Indian Wars, but as Tracy Potter is going to tell us, actually, that's a huge problem for anyone trying to find the truth about the man behind the myth.
Let's go check it out.
This is missing so much of Custer's life and times because he was a legitimate Civil War hero. He was, in fact, willing to lead his men into battle, not just send them into battle. When they saw him lead the troops into battle, fearless in the face of gunfire, and time again he'd lead the charges, they decided that they could follow a guy like that.
General Custer's military career began after he graduated from West Point Military Academy in 1861. He served under General McClellan for a time before being transferred to General Alfred Pleasanton's staff in 1863.
I served under General Alfred Pleasanton in the early part of '63. In June of '63, the cavalry, which had not come into its own up until that point, was given the task of turning the Black Horse Cavalry under Jeb Stuart at the Battle of Brandy Station. And several days later, the Battle of Aldie, I led a successful cavalry charge which brought me to the recognition of the higher ranking officers. And it was Elon Farnsworth, Wesley Merritt, and myself that were submitted to be promoted to the rank of Brigadier General. I participated in every major encounter of the Army of the Potomac except for Fredericksburg and Chancellorsville.
Custer became famous while commanding the Michigan Cavalry Brigade at the Battle of Gettysburg. Now, under his command, the cavalry was able to prevent Jeb Stuart's Confederate cavalry from attacking the Union rear. Without Custer's success, it's entirely possible that Gettysburg would have been a Confederate victory. Now, afterwards, his reputation as a Civil War hero was firmly established.
The success of the Michigan Cavalry Brigade at the Battle of Gettysburg saw us leading the vanguard in the forefront of the Union forces throughout the rest of the war. I made 60 successful cavalry charges throughout the remainder of the war, had over 11 horses shot from under me.
Custer remained at the forefront of the Union forces until Lee's surrender at Appomattox Courthouse. In fact, Custer was the Union officer who received the Confederate flag of truce from Major Sims. After the surrender, Custer rushed to the courthouse to witness the signing of the treaty.
I immediately rode with my band to the site and my staff to the Wilbur McLean House and glanced into the parlor where General Sheridan was leaning against the mantel of the fireplace. He made a nod to me, and it was but only a few moments later when I left the house that General Robert E. Lee appeared on the front porch. The terms of surrender had been signed, and as he mounted his famous Warhorse Traveler, I nodded to my bandmaster, Major Charles Axtell, and he began having his band perform Dixie as General Robert E. Lee rode out of Appomattox Courthouse.
At Appomattox Courthouse, where he accepts Lee's flag of truce, and then the signing of the ceasefire. The table on which that ceasefire agreement was signed was given by General Sheridan to General Custer because, as he told Libby Custer, no man has been more influential in bringing about this end.
Custer was a celebrity in his own time. His contemporaries praised him for his actions during the Civil War, and it wasn't until after the Battle of the Little Bighorn that his reputation began to change.
When the United States needed a hero, needed a soldier that would take the fight to the enemy, George Custer was the guy, and he was a legitimate Civil War hero. And so his later efforts on the plains, you know, this is just a postscript.
Well, the sun's going down, the temperature's dropping, and we're going back inside. But we hope you've enjoyed our look at General Custer during the Civil War.
Now stay tuned for our next episode where we're going to switch gears and temperatures and look at the significance of winter counts among the Mandan culture living at the Onaslant village.
See you then.
And remember to visit Fort Abraham Lincoln, where history comes to life.